Hi guys. It is that sad time of the year for Bengali Marxist seculars once again when they have to come face to face with the last remnant of Hinduism in their lives, even though they have converted to the religion of their Lord and Savior Karl Marx. This is the time of the year when they end up celebrating a Hindu festival, which much to their sadness is a Hindu festival and will always remain a Hindu festival, regardless of how much they want to un-Hinduize it. And so a lot of things have been going on in the last few days. Let me make a list of them. But before that, let me remind you that how Bengalis look at Durga Puja festivals. They always want to be inclusive about it. Even though I don't know when the fuck has ever Hinduism not been inclusive or Durga Puja has not been inclusive. They want to make it more inclusive, as if it wasn't inclusive already. Firstly, who are you trying to include? Who is the person left to be included in Durga Pujas? Abrahamic faiths? People who hate women? People who don't have a single goddess in their religions? That's who you want to include? Who else are you going to include? Who are you trying to be inclusive about? Even then, no Muslim or Christian is ever barred from entering a Durga Puja pandal. Now, in 2019, you might remember that Azan was played in one of the Durga Puja pandals in a place called Beleghata 33 Polli, as far as I can remember. And obviously, they don't know the lyrics of the Azan, nor do they know the second line of the Azan. So, playing that Azan in the Durga Puja pandal was hilarious as f***. I'll leave people to Google it for themselves. Let's check out what are the new things that are going on. And I have been noticing the things that have been happening in the news, but since no one has made a connection between these events, so I've had to do some research of my own, and I've found one good Facebook post by a person called Pritam Guho, whose post is in Bengali, but I'll read it out in Bengali first, and then we'll translate it for you to put it into perspective. What is the main problem among the others that have been going on here? কোন যুক্তিতে দেবীপক্ষের আগেই কোনো পুজো কমিটি উদ্বোধন করে ফেলেন? So he asks, by what logic are they opening and inaugurating the Durga Pujas before the Devi Paksha has started? Tao মায়ের মুখ ঢাকা দেওয়ার কোনো বালাই নেই. They haven't even covered up the faces of the idols of Ma Durga. আগে পঞ্চমী অবধি বা মণ্ডপে চলে এলেও মুখ ঢাকা থাকতো. He says in earlier days when he was a kid, even up till Panchami, the face of the idol used to be covered up. Now, then he writes that then up around the days of Tritiya and Chaturthi, that's the day when the idols got uncovered. And now, even before Mahalaya, they have put up uncovered idols because they want to distract people from all the corruption cases that have been happening in Bengal. Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool government wants people to forget about all their problems and start celebrating the Durga Puja. Fair enough. Let's celebrate Durga Puja. Now, on the issue of being inclusive, let's see what's UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage Secretary Tim Curtis is saying on the fact that this time Durga Puja got the status of a World Heritage celebration. This guy says, Durga Puja has undergone positive change and inclusiveness, such as through the transition in the public sphere as community pujas and transformation as a non-denominational community festival. Look at so many problems with this statement in just one sentence. Undergone positive change. Who's this Christian white guy who's going to explain to us what positive changes we need in our dharma, first of all? Secondly, what is this thing called positive change? What were the negative, unchanged things about Durga Puja? Hope someone explains that to me. And inclusiveness. What inclusiveness? Who are we excluding, and who do they want to include as a new way, as a new phenomenon? Thirdly, transformation as a non-denominational community festival. Non-denominational. What's the problem with it being a denominational festival? Even if it was a denominational festival, who was being stopped from celebrating it or coming to these festivals? That is my question. So I did some research about this person called Tim Curtis himself. Tim Curtis has a PhD in cultural anthropology. And if you remember Deepak, and any decoloniality scholar for that matter, he has, and all these scholars have repeatedly said that anthropology is a colonial construct. You cannot view pre-colonial societies, pre-Abrahamic societies, especially polytheistic societies, from the lens of anthropology and sociology. You have to view them from the lens of ontology, epistemology, and theology. Now let me tell you one more problem about anthropology itself. This is from the website of anthropology.sas.upenn, which is University of Pennsylvania. In the first paragraph, it's a statement on anthropology, colonialism, and racism. The first paragraph basically sets up my argument, and later they go on to defend that how they have changed now. As we can see how much Tim Curtis has changed. So see what they admit in the first paragraph about anthropology being against societies like us. No form of scholarly inquiry is neutral, and anthropology is no exception. Anthropology began as a colonial science, the product of a settler colonialism, uniquely focused on the study of the languages, history, culture, and biology of non-European peoples, seen as primitive or ancient all around the world. It is ancient. What's the point of putting them in quotes? Anthropology was, until recently, primarily the study of the exotic other in space of time, an orientation that presumes an unmarked normative self, white, Euro-American, and often male, positioned as the distanced and objective observer. While this conceit has been thoroughly discredited, it helped obscure the field's historical implication in projects of domination, rule, and control. Even those scholars who, with lofty disciplinary ideals, nevertheless often used extractive approaches that positioned Native American, African, Asian, Latin American, and other human subjects and field sites as objects or sources of data, that is, cultural practices, language, artifacts, or biological material, rather than as partners in knowledge production or legitimate owners of their own bodies, voices, histories, and cultures. Remember, anthropologists were also big eugenics. Eugenics is the study of considering some races inferior and therefore taking action in some way, in some policy positions, to further decrease their population. The Planned Parenthood, which is a big pro-abortion organization in America, which contributes to the mass murders of unborn black babies even till this date, was in fact created by anthropologists who wanted black population to go down. What a surprise. So remember, when a system is set up to do something, just because the people change and the terms change and their intentions change, the system doesn't produce different results, which is my entire problem with the idea of sociology. It was created to distance and create further fissures in society, in Indian society, where there were none, and so they have not solved caste. Now, what are the new things that have happened in this Durga Puja? They have created one pandal on the theme of the Vatican. Vatican City is the home of Christianity, who have set out from 1492 to explore the world, discover the world, and kill their people or help them and force them to convert to their religion, because they think that people of the book are the only people who are worth living, and people who don't have a book as their religion are stupid people, and they live in darkness. And the light of Christianity, the piercing light of faith of Christianity, needs to pierce their souls and then bring them to Jesus. That is the place where Ma Durga will be worshipped today. From Monday. And this is being done in Sri Bhumi, which is a Durga Puja run by Sujit Basu, a big Trinamool leader, I think MLA or MP or something. Let me read out this report to you. Kolkata, Vatican City themed Puja, Durga Puja creates buzz even before it is opened for public. A Durga Puja pandal themed around St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City has become the talk of town in West Bengal capital, because see, all Marxist Bengalis pretend to be against colonialism. Oh. But they never criticize the ideas behind colonialism. It's like Shashi Tharoor. He ends with the problems of colonialism starts with economics, this many people died, this much GDP was taken away, and he ends with economics. There is never an epistemic counter to the problems that colonialism and Middle Eastern invasions have created. Which is why decoloniality, as explained by J. Saitibuk, is the better answer to these problems. Which brings to mind how Marxist Bengalis, secular Bengalis celebrate and talk about Durga Puja in the tone that they talk about this. Whenever the time comes that only a month is left for Durga Puja, they start talking about the different kind of advertisements and the songs that go on in the pandals, the things that remind them of the Durga Puja, all the muscle memory that's triggered in their brains about Durga Puja, about their childhood nostalgia. That's the only thing they talk about during the Durga Puja. Not the values that the Vedas hold, not the values that Ma Durga holds. I even heard that some Durga Puja pandals have been, some Trinamool people have been propagating this idea that the mantras this time should be in Bengali, even though they will never talk about the demand the azan to be sung in Bengali. So now, since Sanskrit is probably an oppressive Brahminical hegemonic language, they want to do away with the Sanskrit mantras and say them in Bengali. Now, my point is, the Shalimar ads were very popular when we were growing up as kids, whenever Durga Puja was nearby. And they talk about Shalimar ads when Durga Puja comes nearby. They never get into the episteme of Durga Puja. They want to be inclusive. And they hate to use the word Hindu. Now, this is where my video ends, but remember the sad part about Durga Puja for them is that it is a Hindu festival. It will remain a Hindu festival. And most importantly, remember that Ma Durga is just another roop of the vicious and brutal and angry goddess Vindhyavasini.